Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I love when you tune in. My name is Diane Lupo, and I want to welcome you to Roland Comtois Soul Stories. And now, your host, Roland Comtois.
Oh man, I laugh before we start because I'm trying to figure out how to. Oh man, it's I'm doing the best I can, everybody. I'm grateful to be here with you tonight. It's another edition of Soul Stories, and as you know, we've been going with this show for a long time, trying to find where it belongs, and where we belong right now is with you. So thank you so much for joining me, Diane. How you doing these days?
I'm doing great. I loved your little signals in the beginning. We had to work out a signal because last week I didn't know when we could start. So thanks for the little woo signal there.
Yeah.
Doing okay. It's been a good week. I'm doing tons of yard work. A little lethargic and tired right now because we were cutting down trees and the neighbors think I'm crazy, but it's really beginning to take shape. So
Oh, good.
the pandemic landscaping is working out.
Oh, good. Listen, right now, while we're here, I want to give out a couple of shout outs because we have Dora listening from Connecticut. We have Judy listening. Hello, Judy. Amanda, thank you. Jackie from Massachusetts, thanks for tuning in. Deborah, thank you. And Shelly and Tony from Rhode Island. We are very thrilled that all of you are joining us tonight. Thank you. We
Great. I'd
appreciate
also
it.
like to thank all the listeners and watchers from the Gloria Gemma Breast Cancer Resource Foundation. They tune in, they have little watch parties every week.
Oh, my God.
I
That's
just want
very,
them to know how
thank
much
you.
we appreciate everything they do.
Yeah, thank you for that, you guys. I really appreciate it. Hey, Brenda in Massachusetts, thanks for tuning in. So we are in certainly a situation, aren't we? Um,
Yeah.
you know, we're going through lots of different things, and we're still quarantined, still fighting the battles, each of us. But I have to say, Diane, a couple days ago, my energy just tanked. I've only had a couple of 3 days like that during this time, but oh my God, it's so overwhelming. It was so overwhelming a couple of days ago. I don't know. What
That's,
about you?
that you weren't alone because many people I've spoken to have said the same thing. They'll be fine. And then there is that one day, and I believe it was Monday, that was really a tough day to get through. That energy was so heavy. But
Yeah.
we're doing the best we can, everybody. By
Yeah,
meditating, nature
I was just
walks, we can. Yeah.
I was just going to say the same thing. I mean, we really have to put a plan in place that allows us to navigate this energy, because the energy is going to be stronger than it's ever been before. It really just is. It's not, look, I've been doing this and feeling energy for a long time, a very long time. This has never felt like this before. Now, the last time it was this intense was on 9/11. It was really intense that day. I remember calling Tulia, asking her, talking to her, getting guidance from her. And so I know that there was a lot happening during that time. But I can tell you, this is entirely different than it was then.
So I'm going to ask you, Roland, what is really going on? I mean,
Well,
do you have any
that's a
psychic
great
insight or
question.
inside story on, because I'm hearing so many different things, so many stories about what's really going on. But what do you think is really going on?
Well, I think there's a lot of things that are happening. I think, as difficult as it is, I think part of this experience is really for humanity to harness its compassion and love again, and I think that we are afforded this opportunity. Now, that's sad to say because there are thousands of people that have died, and there are many people that are dying. And I mean, I even got,
Grieving.
just before we went on air, I got an email from someone that a 12-year-old needs help, needs our prayers and thoughts. So
Oh,
I
geez.
think we're in a very interesting place. I think we're going to experience more change. I think this is an experience of our own personal evolution. I think we're stepping out of the old. We have an opportunity to step forward. Now, you and I talked about this last week. One of the things I keep getting is that this is a time of birth. This is really as if we are being birthed into a new time, a new experience, a new opportunity. And so there's so many things happening. But let me share something else with you. The energy that I'm feeling is not just the energy of our loved ones or the angels. There is a higher ascended energy that I'm feeling. There's a
Ah,
different wave of energy that I'm feeling. You know, call them light beings or intelligent light beings, or call them, energy. But there's a different wave of energy that I've noticed this time around than the previous experiences. So I think there's a lot happening. Now, we have a lot of people tuning in from all over the country and actually from all over the world. We want to welcome the people that are calling, that are tuning in from Monaco tonight, and everybody who's part of our experience. We are thrilled to be here with you, and we want to be a place where you can come and laugh and cry and feel better, feel joy, feel connected, because one of the things we need during this time is this real strong sense of connectedness, because we are a global connection. Now, listen, Denise Roberge says that she thinks this is a global reset. What do you think, Diane?
well, in a lot of ways, I agree with that. Just from the standpoint of nature, right? How everything is coming back to life, and it's almost as if the planet needed. When you've had enough of your family and you go in your room and you shut the door and you spend alone time. I feel like the Earth needed that time. It was like the
Yes.
Earth needed a time out to regain its ease and its pace and
Yeah.
its beauty. And the animals are also flourishing, it seems, around the planet. So, and the air that we breathe has been cleaner and purer. And so maybe, yeah, maybe it's a reset. But I also think, we talked a lot about ascension. And I feel that, and everyone talks about the vibration being higher. I know
Yeah.
you feel it. I know I feel it. And I'm talking to people who aren't even into this stuff. And
Yeah.
so there's got to be something to it.
Yeah, there's definitely something to this. And I think this is, an amazing opportunity for us, though, to really step back and look at our lives and look at the connections we have. I mean, we're given an opportunity to really practice what we preach:
Oh, yeah.
meditation, contemplation, just like you just said, going out into nature. And like you did earlier, what did you do? You took care of your yard, you did
Picked
yard
down
work.
trees, lifted
You
lumber.
you know you took dead trees out and you gave them a burial, and you did wonderful things for your nature. And I think we have to do this. Let me give a couple of shout outs, because we have a lot of people who want to share their insights about what's happening. Deborah says she thinks it's a spiritual reset. We have Michelle, who says that we all just needed to stop and breathe. This is an interactive experience. We want to know what you think about all the things that we're talking about, because that's what this show is about. And we want to bring you as much information as we can. But as I said a minute ago, I think we're also learning that there's much more out there, this higher frequency of energy, this vibration of change. We're stepping out. As we step out, we have to look back in, and what I've said for 1,000 years, do an inventory of who we are, what we are, why we are, and then go forward in your life. Daniela also says it's a birth. So I guess we're all kind of in the same wavelength. Great. It's a great topic. And I think we're going to be talking about it week after week, Diane.
Well, as we go, and it's funny because as difficult as this has been, I've said from the beginning, I felt a weird. Remember, I said I felt like the cockeyed optimist, because I feel so much positivism,
Mm.
around me and within me. Even when I meditate, I'm not going, dark. It's like everything seems like it's getting brighter. So
Yes.
perhaps this is we're going to come to a new level of joy and understanding of what
Yeah.
is our real purpose.
Now, Jackie, this Jackie, I don't know where she's from. It's not the Jackie we know and love. It's another Jackie we know and love. She says it's a wake-up call. I mean, so there are so many ways that we can look at this opportunity. And if it is a wake-up call, right, Diane, if it is a big shift, we have a responsibility. We have to step up. We got
Yeah,
to
we have to
step
show up now. We have to show.
What did you?
There are no
Yeah.
excuses here. We have to.
Oh my God.
We have to be present. We have to be in the moment with our family. And all we have is the moment, because here's the great part of this whole thing, I think. We don't know what, we can't make any plans. Have you been in your life, and I just turned 65. I don't remember a time ever when I couldn't say, well, in 2 weeks from now, I want to do this, because I can't make that plan.
I know. I've never had that experience in my life, that everything is stopped to the, I've been quarantined in my room for 5 weeks and, that's never happened, and I've never had that experience ever. So these are very interesting times, and there are lessons to learn, insights to gain, and a direction to take as we move forward. So we're going to keep talking about this week after week after week until we've exhausted the conversation about that. So it's been an interesting week. I have to tell you, Diane, I did 11 purple paper meetings today. 11
Isn't
of them.
that wonderful? Now, you normally wouldn't have time to do that many.
Well, I've done a lot of them, but I did 11.
Wow.
That was a lot. So I talked with a lot of people from all over the place, and we're making some wonderful connections with the purple papers. And
what happened with that marked paper? Did you?
I was just going to mention that. You're not going to believe this. I talked to the family today.
Oh, wow.
Today.
And
that paper is now being delivered to a family in New Hampshire.
Nice.
It's all very mind-boggling to me on some level, but intellectually it's mind-boggling, but spiritually, it isn't, because it's something even more magnificent. It's this connection that we have with each other that remains. So Mark has been delivered, but wait, I got to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you the story because the other day I was getting up, and I've told you many times that before I get out of bed, I put my hands on my chest. I have this ritual of doing something to make sure I feel the energy. So I'm doing all this stuff, and I'm getting out of my bed, and I hear a voice in my head, and no one is in my room but me. I am alone in that room, and so I hear a voice in my head, and I'm looking around the room, and I'm thinking, wait a minute. I'm thinking to myself, did somebody sneak in? I was like kind of a feeling. It was so weird. What'd you say?
I said, aren't you used to that?
Well, it was immediately right when I got out of bed, and it was the message was, or the voice I heard was, give Paula the paper. Right? And here I'm going to admit something I've never said before. I was wrong about one of the purple papers.
Oh.
Wrong.
Well, you are human. You're human, right?
Well, wrong in the... Huh?
You are human, aren't you, Roland?
Yeah, well, let's talk about that later. But the fact is, I got out of bed, I heard this voice that said, give Paula the purple paper. So I made arrangements to talk to this Paula, and she had reached out to me, and she said, look, I think that paper's mine, but I hadn't had the feeling yet. I didn't feel it. I didn't sense it. So I didn't give it. I didn't do anything. I held on to it, right? And then all of a sudden that voice came in my head, and here we are. So again, I talked to that woman recently, and she's getting the paper that I was holding back because I wasn't completely sure until the voice came in my head and said, deliver that paper right now. That's powerful, right? It's crazy. It's so crazy. Don't forget, if you're tuning in right now and you're listening live, this is Soul Stories. My name is Roland Compton, and this is your favorite co-host, Diane Lupo.
Your only co-host.
That's true. The only one you've ever seen on my shows. And if you're tuning in right now, don't forget to give us a little shout out. Let us know where you're listening from, because if we see it pop up, I'm going to give you a little shout out and say thanks for tuning in, because we are very excited that you're joining us today. And so that happened last week. The voice in my head said, give Paula the paper. It was so it was so incredible. It was so amazing that you can't argue with it.
But that's a great credit to your own credibility. How you, I mean, I've argued with you about no, Roland, I think that paper is ladies. And you're like, no, I don't feel it. I don't feel it. And then the next gig we go to, lo and behold, it's a slam dunk, that the paper,
Yeah.
and so I say, well, trust your feelings, Roland.
Yeah, you got to trust those gut feelings. Those are there for a reason. That intuition, that gut feeling, that sixth sense, that's part of our makeup. It's part of what we are. Let me say a couple of hellos. Gail in Rhode Island, thanks for tuning in. Lynn in Kent, Connecticut, thanks so much. Dawn in Johnston, and Inez in Westport, Massachusetts, thank you. And Jerry in the Bronxville, New York. I hope you're safe and sound out there, Jerry. And Kim in Woonsocket, and Mary in Bristol County, and on and on and on. We're so thrilled that you guys are here with us tonight.
I saw Vegas there too, but I can't find the name in the feed. So hi.
And Linda Hogan from the Witch City. Hello, Linda Hogan. Hey. Thank you for tuning in. And we have some Floridians joining us tonight. This is very thrilling. So thanks everybody for tuning in. The Purple Papers, believe it or not, even though I'm not on the road, have been vibrating, I think we're going to be mailing 30 of them. Wow. While I've been in quarantine to people. So there's many of them that are going to be delivered over the next several weeks to people that we've made this connection. So it's very powerful. Great. It is pretty cool, isn't it? How it all works out.
Now, what about Ralph? You posted Ralph, two Ralphs.
Oh my God.
Ralph.
I know.
Are you at a loss for words? Because I don't think I've experienced this before.
This was amazing. It was amazing. Now, I tell my stories day after day here on social media. I tell the stories of the Purple Papers. And the only reason why, Diane, I tell the stories is to give everybody a little insight into how this works.
Right.
And how it happens. That's all. I mean, you see it firsthand. You see people go through what they go through when the purple paper is handed to them, right? So, I lost my words again. February 23rd, right? Right. Yes. You see this with the door on? It says the door, gold. Yes. It's in gold, right? So I'm talking to the woman today. And I'm having the conversation with her, and I'm saying, I don't understand the door. And she says, I don't understand the door. And we tried to figure it out, and the paper made perfect sense to her. It was very clear. It meant something to her, but we couldn't figure out the door. And then all of a sudden, again, now look, I'm not the only guy in the world that hears voices. Come on. But that voice said, this man, Ralph, oh my God, even by saying it out loud, I'm thinking to myself, if there's a psychiatrist out there right now listening, I'm in trouble, right? Because I heard Roland, it's the door. Roland, it's when you walk through the door.
Oh my gosh, the door.
And that's what it says. It says the door, highlighted in gold or yellow, and it's all around the entire door. And I went on to tell her what that meant. She was flabbergasted because she realized that her father was peaceful. So then I hear him say, hear me out, people, hear me out. Then I hear him say, write another purple paper right now.
Ooh.
That was her reaction. Your reaction was her reaction. So I went over to my pad, and then I started writing this, a second purple paper. And highlighted in yellow says, I'm glad that you checked on me. Well, she told me that she spent her days and nights and weeks and weekends and every part of all of her time going into the room and saying, Dad, are you okay? Dad, are you okay? And she said to me, she did it 1,000,000 times. She said she's even doing it now. And so can you believe that? The purple paper that says the door. And the guy said to me, Roland, the door. You know, like I got a slap from the afterlife for that particular thing.
So it's been busy in your room during quarantine, huh? And the spirit world is getting very demanding, I noticed.
A little, they're aggressive.
The situations in the papers, they're very adamant about getting their message to who they have to get it to.
Oh, that's an understatement. You know, it's like I heard them say, "You're not on vacation. Get to work." You know, your purpose is to channel those words and messages. Hello to Lee in Vegas. Thanks for tuning in, and Mary in Buzzards Bay. Thank you so much. Oh my God, Diane, you're funny. Someone says.
Oh,
yes.
And Stephen.
Diane,
what?
No, go ahead.
Steph in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Awesome. Thank you all for being here. So the spirit world, the afterlife, and beyond all that is trying to get our attention. They're trying to get your attention.
So the afterlife and beyond the afterlife.
Exactly. Because this is how I see it. I think there is before birth, life, living, death, after death, and beyond. I think there are all these stages. Oh. And each of those stages tells a different story about the continuity of the soul, really. But that's a class or an experience for another day. But the point is, I've said this a million times, I'm not the only one getting the messages. We all get signs and messages, and we talk about that every time we've gathered for the last 7 years. We've been doing soul stories.
Yes. Yeah, in fact, quite a few of the questions were about that trust. When you do get a message, you know, people wanted to know, when did you reach the point where you trusted it? You didn't have any doubt that it was a true message.
Well, you know, I'm going to say this, and it's what I do. So what I'm telling you is what I practice. So the minute this purple paper message comes, attached to the message is a moment of extraordinary ease and peace and gentleness and flow. And I feel that. And if I start to think about why I'm feeling that, then the message gets a little diminished. But if I in fact stay in that space where that message is, where that feeling is, then the message expands and becomes even bigger, becomes even more than it was before. You know, so
trust.
It takes, you know, I said this last night in my webinar, what we're doing is we're taking each moment we have with a message, we take it in and we trust it. We're building a foundation to a greater relationship with the spiritual world. It's what we do, and it's what we do every day. You know, it's what we do in our lives, and it's what we're doing with the spiritual world as well. I do want to share before we come to an end, because I can't believe it's almost a half an hour. We only have 5 minutes or so left, but I do want to share the featured purple paper of the week. Now, I don't have my notes from last week, so I forgot what the featured purple paper was last week, so I don't remember. Do you, Diane?
Should have asked your secretary. See if I have that written down. Background music here, so talk amongst yourselves.
Okay, all right. So let me share with you.
I don't have it.
This is this week's featured purple paper on Soul Stories, dated 12/14/2019, and I'll take a picture of it and I'll post it in this stream later on tonight. So this is from Zachary, who's sorry about how it all changed. Now, we, as a channeler, and you know this, Diane, yourself, because you've witnessed it, we hear that statement a lot. I hear that statement a lot from people that have passed on. And then I hear the next line says, I know you talked about what happened all the time. I pray that someday you find peace like I have found peace. I did get a little crazed. This is what makes it hard for you. I wish I could have told you or done more to make it easier. I hope you're not angry with me. This is from a boy named Zachary who left unexpectedly. That's the featured purple paper. I'll put it in the stream a little bit later on, and so that you can make a connection to it as well. I want to say one other thing. I also think that this time of our lives is giving us an opportunity to really focus in on our energy so that we can serve the bigger community, you know, through our prayers and all the work you're doing, Diane, with the Reiki and how you're supporting the animals and people through your Reiki experience. So I think we're summoned for that. Someone is just saying, that's for me, I'm crying. Amanda, what do you mean? Put that in the stream so I understand what you mean. My friend Zachary died last March? Wait a minute, Amanda. Wait a minute. This paper is dated 12/14/2019. Oh my God, I got a thing. Hang on, everybody.
Oh, wow. Purple paper moment.
Hang on, everybody. Amanda, stay in the stream with us for a minute. I gotta go. Listen, could you guys do me a favor? I know some of you are gonna leave. It's near 8:30. Just those of you that are here, just stay with me. Zachary is sorry about how it all changed. I know you talk about what happened all the time. I pray that someday you find peace like I have found. I did get crazy, a little crazed. This, I know, is hard for you. I wish I could have told you or done more to make it easy. I hope you're not angry at me. I'm okay. Amanda? Stay with me. Hang on, everybody. Let me get the music in the right space. Diane, talk or something.
Okay, now I can do my puppet act here. No. This is how it always happens, and especially when we're in a live audience, when that connection is made, it's incredible because everything becomes still and Roland goes to that place. And that's when he knows if it is, you know, the connection is the right connection between the paper and the recipient. So he's connecting right now. And Amanda, if you could open up your heart too, take nice, long, deep breaths and stay in the moment. It's really a beautiful process when you witness it.
I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting to tell you that I'm sorry about how it all changed. I'm sorry that I couldn't say goodbye to you. And thanks for being a great friend to me. So I was a little crazed. What are you going to do? And I don't want you to cry in the car anymore. I don't want you to cry in the car anymore, Amanda. I don't want you to cry anymore. Hang on. Why don't you all step through the door with me? Let's walk through that door, the same door that Ralph walked towards. I can feel him. It is what it is. You know what's happening right now? Every person who's paying attention to this experience right now, and those that will listen later, will all be the recipient of this connection. Hold on. He doesn't want you to cry anymore in the car. He knows that you didn't have a chance to say goodbye to him. He says he wants me to tell you that he's still the same fun-loving guy that he used to be, he says, and he's going to stand by your side. And I know that the last 7 weeks of your life haven't been so easy, and you've been trying to keep yourself together, he says. I know you've been trying to keep yourself together. It is what it is, Amanda. Oh my God. Do you really want to know what it, do you really want to know? And all he wants to do is tell you that he's okay. Am I going to be a nut? I just did this live. I need therapy.
No, you don't. Those messages help so many people. And that connection in capturing, expressing, not capturing, but expressing their personality. That's what's astounding. That's when
sorry, Diane, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that's when, you know, the recipient knows that you've made the connection because you're speaking their language, not your language. You're capturing their essence, not expressing yours.
Now I want to tell you how this paper was chosen out of hundreds. I want to tell you how that paper was chosen. So every week I bring a featured paper here, right? Oh my God, she just said, Zach, what did he say?
Zach used to joke about needing therapy. So.
Oh my God. Oh, you are all participating in this experience. I mean, do you know how I chose this paper today, Diane? I picked up this. I picked all this up. And I heard, go to the very last purple paper you have in your pile. And this is the one you're supposed to bring out tonight. This is the last purple paper. Wow. It's Z. It's the last one in the whole pile. There aren't any other Z's. It's the last one. Amanda, I have been waiting for you. This purple paper was written for you. You're going to private message us, and I'm going to send it to you because it isn't mine to have. It is yours to have.
That's great.
Wow.
Good job, Zachary. Good job coming through.
Wow. Boy, that's the life of a medium. That's what this is about.
You know, I watch you, but I'm asking this question for maybe somebody who's just seen you perhaps for the first time. But how long after you channel someone like that or someone comes through, are you able to come back out of it?
It might take, it's hard to give it a timeline or put it in time, but it's a feeling. I'm still sitting with the feeling. It's going to be with me until I drink more water, until I walk around a little bit, until I maybe eat something. But it sits with me for a while. And sometimes sometimes I'll recall the feeling and I'll come back to it later on. But it sits with me for a little while. It all just doesn't disappear. At some point it disappears. It becomes not mine to carry because it isn't my story to carry. But at some point, it does disappear. Wow. Wow. I don't know what to say, but wow to all of this. You know, it leaves me breathless. It does. I have such a deep honor for the whole spiritual experience, really. I have a deep honor for the connection and a reverence for what exists into that invisible world that we can't really see very well with our eyes unless you really open up every aspect of yourself. So I have a deep honor and respect for it. And to all of you that have spent your time here, we're really very grateful. We have a very exciting thing to give away though.
Oh, that's right. Are you ready?
Tonight. Yay!
Children's.
Now you have a chance tonight to win Diane Lupo's first book called The Blue Cataroo. What you're going to do is you're going to write the word blue in the stream.
Oh, that's creative.
And very creative, isn't it? You're going to write the word blue in the stream, and tomorrow we are going to pick a winner. And we will work out getting that book to you somehow by you sending us your address and stuff like that.
Yes.
Diane, tell us a little bit about your book.
It's a wonderful character. Her name is Cataroo. She's half cat, half kangaroo, and she doesn't really fit in with all the other cats. So it's her story about how she comes to appreciate who she is and her differences and everybody's differences. So learning acceptance.
Oh, I love that. When I read that book, I thought you were writing it about me.
Adults have said that. They've said, "Boy, this is really an adult book." And I said, "Well, maybe it's my biography." Just always being a little different and not knowing where I fit in, and so it's probably a little bit biographical in there. But it came from my cat Bella.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, we have a lot of people putting in the word blue. Thank you so much. We will pick a winner tomorrow. Again, Diane, thanks so much for being the best co-host. I appreciate it so much.
Thanks for being the best host.
Thank you. Thank you for the insight and all the love that you bring into this experience. And to all of you, we have had a wonderful time spending this last 37 minutes. We've kept you 7 minutes over, but we are grateful that you are here to go on the journey with us. And of course, we will be back next week at 8 o'clock. Before next week, though, you can see Diane doing some Reiki work at 8 o'clock on Friday, and then I'll be on at 9 o'clock back here live telling a part of my near-death story again. So there's a lot of wonderful things we're going to be able to do together. It's all free here on social media for you. And
I have to ask.
Yes.
Will you be singing on Friday night?
No, Diane. Well, Diane's my vocal coach. I will not sing until you hear me sing. But anyways, we'll see how it all plays out. We'll see how it all plays out. And we want to thank you. I thank you very much for supporting the mission, because we are absolutely in this together. And until next time, we send you love. Thanks, everybody.
Stay.